I've never really been the Pokemon guy on EP, but damn it, Nintendo was turning me into the Pokemon guy. First with Pokemon Go, which I think is a fantastic piece of software. I don't play it all the time, but I do check in regularly when I'm out on the road with my iPhone and I'm collecting all kinds of Pokemon that way. It is a very fun piece of software. But now, with Pokemon Sun and Moon, I've been playing the Pokemon Sun cartridge. I've been having a blast with this, and I don't know if it's because Pokemon Go kind of just simplifies the whole core experience. It gets you addicted to the monster catching in a fresh new way, that sort of physicalization of it. So you start to understand these characters a little bit more and get that compulsive hook in you a little bit more. Or it's just that this is a really well refined, it's the 7th generation of the Pokemon franchise. And it's really, really fun. I picked up Pokemon Mega Ruby because my daughter's name is Ruby, and we played that a little bit last year and had some fun with that. But I have to tell you, it's a totally different deal looking at Pokemon through the lens of my daughter's eyes. I can really see that this is obviously made for the younger crowd out there, and they really connect with this monster catching kind of philosophy and the different sort of character designs that the Pokemon Company and Nintendo have always put into these different pokey creatures is undeniably enchanting, and that's absolutely true here with Pokemon Sun. I haven't played the Moon cartridge. I don't know how much it deviates. I think, obviously what happens is they're kind of two sides of the same coin with these dual cartridges out there, and there's specific Pokemon that you can catch with each of them. Please don't quiz me on these names. I'm terrible with these Pokemon names. There's millions of these things. There's more than 80 new ones now with Pokemon Sun and Moon. But what I can tell you is I dig the story. You're exploring this sort of veiled Hawaiian collection of islands. They call them Alola, and they each have different towns and cities and vibes. And what you're doing is you're cruising around in these towns, and you're meeting the locals, and you're meeting the kahunas, which are they're kind of like the gym bosses or whatever from the previous Pokemon games. They're the super fantastic Pokemon masters that you will eventually have to challenge. And the way that you get to them is you do these island challenges. So it's not like in the traditional Pokemon games where you're just battling different sort of gym leaders over and over again. You're taking these island challenges, and they're each specific to each of the different islands of Alola. There's some nice variety here, which is really kind of cool, because frankly, one of my complaints about Pokemon, and I've played every single one of these games, haven't gotten so addicted that I beat every single thing, and I know all of the details of these worlds, but I have checked in on all of these Pokemon games over the years, and I have to tell you, one of my big issues with this franchise is how similar the experience kind of feels from cartridge to cartridge. And this one does feel a little bit more fresh. It feels a little more cohesively story-driven. I dig the sort of new dynamics of exploring these tropical Hawaiian-themed, Polynesian-themed islands. It's interesting that this comes out at the same time as Moana is hitting the big screens from Disney. So maybe Hawaii is in the air right now, or Polynesian-themed entertainment is in the air right now. But I liked it. I like the sort of new music that's in there. I like the new updates, like instead of trying to find hidden machines to kind of cruise around, you pick up these Pokemon ride creatures. Like the first one you get is this bull Pokemon Tauros that can bash through rocks and get you across the playing field a lot quicker. And then you're unlocking new things like that all the way through. And there's also this new Z Crystal dynamic that you can unlock when you defeat the big totem Pokemon. Listen to me, I sound like an expert. I'm not an expert, but you defeat these big totem Pokemons at the end of your challenge. Defeating them allows you access to these Z Crystals, which come in a variety of flavors, which are specific to the Pokemon creatures that you're collecting. And of course, all of that dynamic remains unchanged. Some of the Pokemon that you know and love from previous generations have been reworked a little bit, so the art style's a little bit different, but I was cool with it. I actually liked the more dynamic camera angles. Obviously, this is going to be a better looking Pokemon game because it's out in 2016 on the 3DS. Odd that there's no 3D in this cartridge. It seems like a perfect game to have lots of 3D with it, but there isn't. It's strictly 2D game, so it'll be something that'll work great on the 2DSs out there. But the art style is great. It feels a lot more sort of in the vein of an anime, and the way that they tell the story, all of it is a lot more dynamic. There's a sense of humor about itself. One of the characters, I forget his name, but he walks around with a big lab coat and no shirt on, and they make fun of him for that, and I laughed. I thought that was funny. I like that this game doesn't take itself too seriously, and I like that it's, really easy to have fun with it. Yes, it gets repetitive. Yes, there's some grinding, especially if you've ever played a Pokemon game before. You're going to know the deal. You're going to have this obsessively long tutorial that's going to teach you things that you already know how to do. Listen, this is a very fun game to play. It's very addictive. The multiplayer component comes into play with this this sort of festival setting where you go into and you can have local sort of Pokemon matches and trades and things like that, but you can also get online and find all kinds of other people, and there are millions of people playing this thing already. It's a massive, successful, huge new title for the 3DS, and congrats to Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. Certainly, you know, off of the wave of excitement from Pokemon Go this year, all of that is to be applauded because these games are fun. They are, you know, loaded with content. I mean, this is a very, very long experience. It's going to take you more than 30 hours to get through everything. And it's also very family friendly, which I appreciate. I love that I can play this game with my daughter and she can, you know, point me in different directions and tell me which Poke creatures to use and which to send back to the PC. Listen, there's enough new here, there's enough great production quality here, and there's enough tried and true Pokemon goodness here for everybody. This is a fantastic cartridge for the 3DS. Yes, it does get a little grindy. Yes, it does get a little repetitive. Yes, I wish things would speed up a little bit, but you can't deny how much this game gets its hooks into you and how much you get addicted to collecting them all again. I'm going to give Pokémon Sun, I've only played Sun, haven't played Moon, I'm going to give Pokémon Sun an 8.5 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.